shocked.
Welcome back, Crackle Addicts. I'm Lupine Fiasco. This is Daily FaB Gameplay, and today we are playing Aurora Shooting Star. For anyone who is new to the channel, what we do here is review replays of games I played on the Talishar.net client days or weeks ago, after enough time has passed that I lose my bias and can more objectively judge the quality of my games. I will talk through turn cycles as if I were taking them now, explaining my thought processes for the lines I would take, and compare that to the lines I did take. We either learn from my mistakes or reinforce good play patterns with the overall goal of tightening and optimizing our gameplay in the future, taking down paper events, and walking away with that shiny, shiny cardboard. If you would like to check out the deck I'm playing here or try it for yourself on Talishar, there is a FaB deck link in the video description below. While you're down there, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. It is the best free way to support me and to make sure that you see daily FaB gameplay in your video feed 5 days a week. If you'd like to engage further, there is a link to my Twitter, to my Discord, and to my Patreon. Without further ado, let's jump right into the action. I want to give a shout out to Nikobru, who's been playing Vynnset for a while and was kind enough to give me some reps into the hero. I do have a local Vynnset, but I don't often get to play against them. I'm really not sure how well she does in the meta. I've heard a lot of bad things, but I think in the hands of a skilled player, she does have a dark horse factor that can really push her to perform well, and we're going to see that in this game. So if you want to check out more of Nico's Vynnset content, there is a link to his channel in the video description below. We won the die roll and did choose to go first, and we have a really interesting decision to make because we have this Warmonger's Diplomacy, but we also have an Arc Lightning. So if we don't want to give Vynnset the chance to filter, which I don't think we do, then we have two options for how this turn plays out. We can either pitch Somersault and Flittering Charge to Grasp of the Arknight, make a rune chant, and then play Warmonger's Diplomacy, or we can play Electromagnetic Somersault, not get any benefit out of it because we aren't attacking, but we play a Lightning card to turn on Aurora, then we pitch Arc Lightning into Aurora to make Embodiment of Lightning, play Warmonger's Diplomacy, Arsenal, Flittering Charge. On raw power, not playing our Arc Lightning or not saving it for a future turn is worse than pitching it. We would get more value out of playing it, but we will be under the effect of our own Warmongers, and that means we just don't get an Arsenal, and we don't have an Embodiment of Lightning. We aren't playing Snapdragon Scalers in this matchup, so there is a really good chance that we just totally brick our turn for very marginal benefit. So I actually am going to make the call here to play the Somersault, pitch the Lightning, and then play Warmonger's Diplomacy. Warmonger's is really good on turn 1 against Vynnset because she does not get to set up, and there are very few options that she has where she could make multiple rune chants in a turn. I mean, most of the time her line is going to be banish a card to Vynnset. Deadward Dirge certainly makes her turn better, but for the most part there is no real way to make rune chants, a meaningful number of rune chants, and attack with a big rune gate attack. So taking the Warmonger's embodiment line, we arsenal that Flittering Charge. We see that Vynnset did have the Dirge, so potentially would have been able to send something with Runegate from Vanish, and instead the turn is just a 2-card make 3 rune chants pass. We have an interesting decision to make here with this Flittering Charge in Arsenal. Because we have this Embodiment of Lightning, we don't need to be able to give Flittering Charge go again, but we also drew into a hand that does give it go again, plays really nicely with Flittering Charge. What we also need to consider is Phase Purgatory. The best line that we could take to get value out of this hand would be to play Static Shock for 4 go again, then play Flittering Charge, somersault it back, play Flittering Charge, play Electrostatic Discharge, then play Snatch. And overall, we are getting 19 points and a draw effect out of our hand. The problem with doing that is Face Purgatory, where if we take that line, we play Static Shock, we play Flittering Charge, we Somersault, we play Flittering Charge, there is a really good chance that Vynnset uses Face Purgatory on our Flittering Charge, and our hand is Snatch and Electrostatic Discharge, and there, isn't really a ton of counterplay. We probably discard the Discharge, arsenal the Snatch, or discard the Snatch, arsenal the Discharge, and prepare for our next hand, but that was kind of it, and we just lost some damage, and we lost our draw effect from Snatch. So what I like doing instead is taking a safer path. We get less damage, but we do insulate ourselves from a really valuable Face Purgatory. So what I would want to do here is play Flittering Charge, play Somersault. We burn our Embodiment of Lightning, but we get our Flittering Charge back. Play Flittering Charge again, play Discharge to give it go again, then pitch Static Shock to attack with Starfall, and then Snatch for 7. And the benefit of that is we lose 2 damage, but we do have that ability to discard Static Shock to the Face Purgatory if Vynnset uses Face Purgatory on Flittering Charge. And if she uses Face Purgatory on Starfall, then we got extra damage by hitting with the Flittering Charge. So opening up with Snatch does give us the most benefit from the Snatch effect, but of course it gets blocked, and now we're in a position where I would have wanted to do this the other way. Now I do think the line we took actually is better. Threatening the Snatch twice is fine. The Flittering Charge was more likely to hit, but of course we did take blocking resources from Vynnset. So I do like that line. What I don't like about the line we took instead is if Vynnset uses Face Purgatory on the Flittering Charge, then like I was saying, we do have to make a choice between discarding Discharge and discarding Snatch. Now we don't get punished for our line, so we get to play Flittering Charge and then Snatch for 7. And that puts Vynnset into a position where she needs to decide how many resources she's willing to give us. She could very likely block this with 2 cards and armor, but what armor is she blocking with? Does she give us Face Purgatory for really just... She gets 5 value out of it. If she blocks with an attack, non-attack, Face Purg, she draws a new card, but we aren't discarding anything, and now Face Purgatory is off the table. She could just take 7 and let us draw, and then keep whatever these 4 cards are that she was apparently fine not blocking with. She does have a lot of options available to her. I do like that we attacked with the Snatch. We telegraph that we have the Snatch, but I think that's fine. As much as my play was based around thinking about Flittering Charge, we do get to take advantage of that embodiment with opening with Snatch and then somersaulting that. Vynnset takes 7. We draw Entwine Lightning for the arsenal, really good thing to have drawn. Here we're looking at Maverian Skies into Widespread Ruin with 4 Rune Chants. Our hand is really good, especially with our arsenal, so what we get to do with this hand is play Arc Lightning, play Gone in a Flash, then Electrostatic Discharge, pick our Gone in a Flash back up. At this point we have dealt 6 points of damage. 1 from Arc Lightning, 4 from Gone in a Flash, and 1 from Gone in a Flash having go again. We get to Starfall for 2, go again. We get to make an embodiment, and then play Gone in a Flash for 7, go again, and then we can either play Entwine Lightning from Arsenal or hold on to it. But in this way, we're really playing around Face Purgatory the same way we did last turn, or the same way we wanted to last turn, where we play the Arc Lightning, we play Gone in a Flash. Now, if Vynnset uses Face Purgatory, we have Heaven Claws that we can discard so that we don't lose Discharge or Gone in a Flash. Then we play Discharge, pick Gone in a Flash back up. Now we would play Entwine Lightning from Arsenal, fusing with Gone in a Flash, and we have the option to then play Gone in a Flash or Arsenal it. So this hand is really good. We don't want to block, we don't want to pitch into Arcane Barrier. But we do want to prevent the Maverian hit effect, which means that we'll take these 4 rune chants, and then we're going to put our Crown of Providence, Dyadic Carapace, and Grasp of the Arknight in front of Widespread Ruin. And the next decision we need to make is, do we use our Crown to sink anything from our hand or our arsenal? And we really like our hand and arsenal. The one thing we could think about is, our arsenal is kind of replaceable. Because we're playing around Face Purgatory, we're not really looking to play Entwine Lightning and then fuse it, because that would give Vynnset an opening to use Face Purgatory for its full value. So I don't hate syncing with Crown here, but I'm also not really thinking that we need to. And unfortunately we get punished for that, because this pummel now does make us discard one of the cards in our hand, and all 4 cards in our hand work really well together. If I could choose to discard my Entwine Lightning from Arsenal, I very happily would. So we do get punished for not syncing our Arsenal to draw a new card, and if I could have 100% put my opponent on pummel, then I would have done that. But unfortunately, I didn't realize that it was something that could happen to me. I didn't think about it, and so we do get punished by this pummel. The next question is, what do we discard? If we discard our Heaven's Claws, then our line is going to be Arc Lightning, Gone in a Flash, Discharge, Gone in a Flash. Like I've been saying, it opens us up to Face Purgatory, where we would still play our Discharge and then not pick up Gone in a Flash, discard nothing to Face Purg, and then play Entwine Lightning from Arsenal. At that point, Arc Lightning is worth 2 points of damage, so overall we're pushing a 4-card 13, which is not very good. It means that I want to give myself more opportunity to deal damage, and I don't think we're going to be able to loop Gone in a Flash. So if we instead discard Electrostatic Discharge, now we play Arc Lightning, we pitch our blue to Grasp, then Starfall, then play Gone in a Flash, which has Go again, and then play Entwine Lightning from Arsenal. So now our Arc Lightning is worth 4 points of damage. We get 3 points from Grasp and Starfall. That's a total of 7. Our Gone in a Flash attacks for 4 and has Go again, so that's 11. And then we can play the Entwine Lightning from Arsenal if we want to and get a 4-card 15, or we can just hold it and get a 3-card 11. But that 3-card 11 or 4-card 15 is absolutely worth more than a 4-card 13. So the correct discard here is Discharge. Just unfortunate, if we could have discarded the card that we drew by bottoming our arsenal, this turn would be much better. We would get to Arc Lightning, Gone in a Flash, Discharge, Grasp Sword, Gone in a Flash. For, what is that? 1, 6, 11, 18. We get a 4-card 18 if we could discard our arsenal here. So, not that it was necessarily wrong not to put our opponent on pummel. I don't know that every Vynnset is going to be playing pummel, but had we considered that our Vynnset might be playing pummel, and then really think, well, this 0 for 4 in our arsenal could be any 0 for 4, and we would still have a solid turn lined up, then I would feel much better about syncing it. You can see me doing math here. Unfortunately, I do the math wrong. This puts us in the best position to deal the most damage, but of course we are expecting that Vynnset is going to use Face Purgatory, and here we'll block the flail with Lightning Greaves. But we do take Rune Chant damage from that Maverian Skies effect, so a really solid turn from Vynnset. Kind of the best thing we have going for us is that she does not have an arsenal and didn't hit Blood Debt off of the Widespread Ruin effect. We'll play our Arc Lightning, we'll play our Gone in a Flash. Like I said, the most we're hoping for is that Vynnset does not use Face Purgatory and we just Electrostatic Discharge into Gone in a Flash for 7. We've gotten lucky with Vynnset not using the face perk so far, but we are not so lucky as to be able to keep that chain going. Here we are going to respond to the face purgatory effect. We will play Discharge. It doesn't matter whether we get Gone in a Flashback or... actually it does matter that we don't get Gone in a Flashback, because if we did, our turn would just end. So, good call not picking up Gone in a Flash and losing our action point. We will just Entwine Lightning for 7. At this point, we're pretty committed to just playing it out. While I would like to have Entwine Lightning in Arsenal, I don't want to lose the 3 bonus damage from Discharge. So it does make sense to just send it. And Vynnset has the Haunting Rendition to block 4. So we have an interesting hand here, based on what we would expect Vynnset to be able to block with from hand, as well as we're only having 2 block of armor available. If we play our burn up, then what we get to do is Ravenous Rabble, Somersault, Starfall, Ravenous Rabble, make Embodiment pass, and potentially we send 4-2-4 at Vynnset. And if we send 4-2-4, and let's even assume that Vynnset's hand is all 3 blocks, then we get card and armor on the first Rabble, card and armor on the second Rabble. We get a full card to block Starfall, and then Vynnset banishes a card from hand to her own ability. Doesn't sound very good. If Vynnset has 2 blocks, then that line becomes a lot worse for her. But overall, I don't think that 3 attacks is enough to justify Rabble here. And additionally, if Rabble flips a yellow or a blue, then Rabble Sword Rabble is like terrible for pushing Burn Up over the top. So what I'd like to do here instead is just Rabble Sword Rabble Embodiment Arsenal Burn Up. I really don't want to play Burn Up here, but you do see me commit to the line. And yeah, if Rabble is red, then this is really good for us. We even get to send Starfall first, so that we hide information. We're not letting Vynnset know what the follow-up from hand is, and of course she's assuming that we're going to be able to send at least 2 attacks following the Starfall. So we get a 2 block on the Starfall, which is fine. We're still potentially looking at getting 2 cards, but we do flip a blue, and now this is like so bad for us. Especially when Vynnset is showing us another 2 block. Really inauspicious start to the turn, and I do think that sending the second Rabble here is worth it, just to get either a card out of Vynnset or more armor, but yeah, we know that this is not set up to be a good rest of the turn. We are still going to make that embodiment, and we'll just pass. It's really disappointing there. We're looking at Widespread Ruin for 2+6. We can't easily block this, and our hand does not really lend itself to blocking well. We do have a pretty solid hand here, where we do get to pitch blue, attack with Starfall for 1, play Channel Lightning Valley to make it 2 with Go Again, draw a card. We're probably not looking to burn up Shock after that. We're not looking to burn up Shock at the start. Vynnset does have AB2 currently, and we would like her to take damage from Starfall, so we will just take this 2, and then we'll also take the 6. Vynnset doesn't have an action point to follow this up. We have seen Succumb, we have seen Pummel, but I don't think we're in a position where we can really play around those, especially if it's Pummel. Especially if it's Pummel. If it's Succumb, we could maybe play around it, but here with Pummel, we are just in a bad way. What we're going to do is discard the Burn Up. On our turn, what I would like to do now, considering that we don't have a card for our arsenal already, I'm a lot more interested in triggering Channel Lightning Valley. So what I'd like to do is pitch Current Funnel into Grasp, then attack with Starfall, and in response to the Rune Chant, we play Channel Lightning Valley. So now we have Rune Chant and Channel Lightning are both threatening that card draw. If Vynnset wants to stop all of it, she gives us 2 cards, one for Arcane Barrier, one for blocking, and then we send Gone in a Flash for 4. So I choose not to make the Rune Chant. We'll play the Channel Lightning Valley, and we get punished by Haunting Rendition, which prevents 2 damage. So if we had made the Rune Chant first, and Vynnset plays Haunting Rendition, she still needs to give us a card to stop either the arcane damage or to block the Starfall, and then we attack with Gone in Flash. So here we're still attacking for 4, we're holding 2 resources back to make an Embodiment of Lightning. If this hits and we draw like Discharge off the top or Sigil of Solace, then we're the greatest Flesh and Blood player of all time. Alternatively, if Vynnset just gives us 2 cards here, then we're kind of happy with that too. We have a Channel Lightning on the field and we have a way to keep it there, so we are feeling a little ahead at this point. The game is closer than I would like it to be, but I'm not feeling too bad. Here I do want to play the Static Shock and then make an embodiment. We've seen 1 widespread destruction out of Vynnset, but there's a line where she banishes 1 and then plays Dirge, or banishes 1 and then uses Vexing Quill Hand. So I don't mind going down an arsenal here. We do get the Vexing Quill Hand, and we get a Shadow Puppetry. So this is looking like Deathly Wail for 4 plus 6, and then Vynnset closes the chain. She has paid into her hero power, so she will make 2 Rune Chants and then come in with Deathly Delight. Overall, we will take 15 points of damage from this. And then Vynnset will go up to 12. What our turn is looking like is going to be Lightning Surge for 4 go again. We can even press it up to 7. We can pitch Current Funnel for Starfall for 2. We can then make an Embodiment and attack with Surge for 4 go again, or we could make a Rune Chant and then attack with Surge for 1 plus 4. Overall, we are threatening a potential 14 points of damage, and also threatening a card draw off of the Channel Lightning Valley. So I don't mind going to 2 here and just hope that Vynnset does not hit anything off of the Shadow Puppetry. She does. It kind of works out for us because it's Blood Debt, so she is effectively going to stay at 11. Here I do want to block with armor because we need to not die. Oh, sorry, Vynnset gains 2 and then takes 1. So stays at 12. And we are going to fire off the Lightning Surge for 4 go again. Do we hold the press or not? I don't think there is a particular reason to hold it or not either way. Definitely better not to use it here just because we want to kind of lure Vynnset into that false sense of security. Ripping the Sigil of Solace off the top is kind of unfortunate for us. We really wanted that to be a 0 for 4, so that we would be threatening 4 plus 3 plus 4 or plus 2 for a total of 12, rather than just a total of a total of 13, which would be incredible. What I kind of want to do here, I want a Starfall, and what I kind of want to do is follow the Starfall with Embodiment of Lightning and then Lightning Surge for 4 go again, just to bait Vynnset into thinking that I have a follow-up, so that maybe she doesn't block the Lightning Surge. Maybe she thinks that we're going to send a Snatch, and that she will hold blockers back for the Snatch. I think it's pretty marginal whether we get this extra point of damage from Grasp. And if we instead set up a hand that maybe Vynnset holds the block, we just get her with Lightning Surge. Whereas now, Vynnset might not necessarily want to go to 1 because she's dead to Sigil of Suffering or Burn Up. We aren't going to press here. We are going to put her down to 1. but still not dead. So she still has AB1. We'd love to find a burn up if we could, just something that maybe she taps out, is not able to pay for the arcane barrier, and then dies. But you can see, another 0 for 4 here would have been sick, because then Vynnset gives us 2 cards and is dead. We also see, she would have tapped out to make this turn possible, and if we had drawn that burn up, then that would have been an endgame too. Unfortunately, we do not draw a hand that really gives us options here. So we can gain 3 life up to 5. The 2 rune chants then put us back down to 3, but unfortunately, we are then at 3 being threatened by 8. So we cannot block with Warmongers and either of our 2 blocks. We have to block with Warmongers and both of our 2 blocks. And Vynnset is going to gain a point of life up to 2, so it isn't even like we can then pitch Discharge to attack with Starfall for 1 and threaten lethal. Our line is just going to be Arsenal Discharge. Now, something I didn't consider that is potentially interesting is if we had pitched the Discharge to AB1, then we are at 4 and we can block with Warmonger's Diplomacy and Ravenous Rabble to stay alive at 1. Vynnset does go to 2, and then we snatch for 4. So we do get a card out of Vynnset. We even potentially get 2 if she does not want to give us a draw off the top. But, then we're at 1, and we are dead to just any rune chant. We're dead to Flail of Agony. Kind of a weird situation. If either of those 2 blocks had blocked 3 instead, we'd be in a way better spot. But that is the nature of the beast, unfortunately. These draws just haven't quite lined up for us. And let's not lie, we haven't put ourselves into a position to draw super well anyway. With us staring down the barrel of 3 rune chants, Widespread Ruin for 7 go again, and then even a Flail of Agony follow-up, things are not looking good. Nico taking the opportunity to try and sequence this turn just a little bit better, but as we can see from having 4 reds in hand, despite the fact that they do block pretty well, we are just dead. Find that E-Strike on top. If we could have switched that E-Strike and that Snatch or that Ravenous Rabble, we'd be in a much better spot, let me tell you. Getting a Send 7, getting 2 cards out of Vynnset, maybe even 3, puts us into a much better position. But overall, I think this game was played fairly well by us. I'm not going to fault myself for not reading the first pummel and not correctly using my crown, but I will fault myself for not seeing how to play correctly around Face Purgatory. The double Rabble Starfall burn-up turn was not well executed. Even if the Rabble does reveal a red, not exactly the turn we're looking for to fire it off. So overall, a little, just a few growing pains on my part, but definitely a close matchup, closer than I was expecting from Vynnset. She really got some power going into Rosetta, and I think Aurora is favored. I think Aurora is definitely more consistent, but they'll get you. Don't assume that you just win based on Talishar stats. But I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you learned something. If so, be sure to burn up that like button and check out Nico's channel as well. Again, that is down in the comments or down in the video description. Any questions or feedback, you can use my comment section. If you haven't already done so, please consider a YouTube subscription. It's free. It helps me out a lot. I have a Discord that is free to join. You can follow me on Twitter. I have a Patreon where you can see how to get the sideboard guide for this deck list, or even bonus content every week. And I will be back with more daily FaB gameplay. And until then, take care.